experiences with the Zambia mission team. And since I'm pretty sure most of y'all heard that, this year I'm going to try and talk a little bit more about the journey trip we had last year. So, I was born into a Christian family. I was actually baptized by my grandfather, who's sitting right there. He's a retired Presbyterian minister, and he is definitely a ginormous leader and role model in my life for how I want to live as a Christian. Moving here when I was 3 years old, we went church shopping and of course found Covenant Presbyterian. I was in the children's Sunday school classes and preschool, and as the child that did not like leaving her mother, the Petersons carried me up and down the hallway day after day for about a year. And finally, growing up and moving on from that, joined the choirs with Alice Sesai as my director. And then when the Children's Handbells program started up again, I joined with Linda Rutherford. And then turning 12 and joining the 6th grade and moving on to middle school, I got to join the Journey Youth Choir. As a child that was a little bit shy, joining the youth choir was a fun experience, but since I wasn't very involved with the youth ministry, I didn't really have any friends. So I joined and struggled with trying to go every week. My mom wanted me to make a support group, and I didn't really want to. So every week I went, and I noticed maybe a month in, Marjane Manian decided she was going to be my friend. So I finally had a friend that made me want to come every week, and so I actually enjoyed my time. And with her friendship and support, she made me try out for a solo in 8th grade, which turned into more solos and more fun in the program, until finally I decided to run for officer, and actually made the position of VP of Missions. So when we finally convinced Ms. Curtis to take us on tour, we knew we needed to have a mission contribution. So of course we went to churches that didn't have youth programs. So we sang at 3 different churches where they had maybe adult choirs but not youth choirs. So they got the unique opportunity to have a youth choir for a day. And the reactions from the churches were extraordinarily positive. I know for sure the first church we went to, my family's tiny little church, Raymond Methodist, in a tiny little town in Louisiana, loved it. I went back about 6 months after our tour, and they were still talking about us. And they were still asking, when are you coming back? Are y'all coming back in a few years? Can you come back and see us on the farms? Can you come back and see us working with our horses? And I know that most of the Journey people would love that. And when we moved on and left, we left with their prayers and support and moved on to New Orleans. And in New Orleans, we of course did the touristy, cliched trips in the French Quarter, went to Café du Monde, and had delicious breakfast. And then we went into a beautiful old-fashioned cathedral church. And we were standing there, and the front was closed off, so we couldn't go and stand on the pulpit like we wanted to. But standing in the aisle of the church, we decided to sing one of our songs that we had taken on tour. We decided to sing Peace I Give to You. And so slowly, one by one, joining in, we sang it. And it sounded beautiful, there was great acoustics, and we were like, yeah, that was fun. And as we were getting ready to leave, an older woman came up to our group and was like in tears, and she had been praying, and she came up and she just said, thank you. Thank you so much. That really meant a lot. And I think that was the first real moment on the trip that people in the choir really noticed, okay, yeah, this is a service. We're doing something here. And then a few days later, Journey went to go sing at a children's mental hospital. We went, and as it was for, I think, like 9-year-olds through 17-year-olds, there were the young kids in the front looking excited and happy to see new people. And then there were the teenagers lounging in the back of the room, staring out the window, acting like they were too cool for this. And they really didn't pay attention. And then we started singing. And slowly, they started scooting forward and straightening up and looking towards us. And it was amazing to watch as by the end of the program, they were singing along to the more known hymns, that they were dancing in their seats and their eyes were shining, and the nurses that were standing on the wall had tears in their eyes because they were so happy to see this joy reflected in their children. That was a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for our choir, and the story behind it is also interesting because we had called to try and sing at a children's hospital and accidentally called the wrong number. We were actually going to go just to the normal children's hospital and sing for patients. And when Miss Curtis got on the phone, they were like, oh, well, you know this is the mental and behavioral hospital, right? She was like, yeah. And of course, that was a total God moment, because what better to do than to go sing for the people that need that joy, that need that uplifting spirit. So, looking back on my life, as I've grown through my faith, through the plethora of opportunities this church has given me, I can look back and see God in almost, actually every moment of my life, from being born into the family I was blessed with, to finding this wonderful church, to my friends group, to the mission opportunities I found, and I'm thankful for God for every moment.